All right, hey everybody, welcome to Trending. Today is Thursday, February 24th. We're back in the studio and it's really cold.
Yeah,
I mean, it's cold in the world right now, but like this room is cold.
it is. I think we try to conserve a little energy whenever ministry's not happening in this wing, but it's frosty.
It is frosty. So we'll try to not shiver as we talk about a few things today.
Right.
So we're going to do something a little bit different today. So typically what we do on this Trending show on Thursdays is we take the day's top trending topics. We try to talk about them from our faith perspective and kind of throw in just some commentary on whatever's going on. All of the topics on Google and Twitter today are all related to Ukraine and Russia.
Yeah.
And probably appropriately so. There's a lot going on. People are following the news closely. Things are changing pretty rapidly. And there's just a lot going on. So there's part of me that at first we talked about trying to find some kind of lighthearted stuff that just kind of lighten up the mood. First of all, there wasn't really much going on. Everyone's talking about the same things.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes it's appropriate. When the news is heavy, sometimes it's appropriate that we just talk about what's going on. So really not a whole lot to tee up. We're recording this at like 1:30. Things are changing quickly. I think President Biden just spoke recently, so things might change by the time you see this. But we're kind of keeping an eye on it, and we just wanted to take a minute to talk about it and just put some thoughts out there. So, Joe, this whole thing has been kind of lingering in the air for a few weeks now. We kind of knew probably something was going to happen. We didn't know exactly what it was. So yesterday and today, as things have actually started happening, just walk us through what's been going on in your mind.
So in my mind, I look at it from a couple different ways. News has been rolling out for a few days now, and I remember. So we were just in Denver, and I remember like watching a hockey game, and there was like some guys talking next to where I was standing, and they were making light of all that was going on. I think maybe the particular news that they take in wasn't taking this seriously. They were saying, "Oh, this is going to be no big deal. It's just a military exercise we do every year. Our intel's wrong." And part of me was to like try to go find that person, like go back to Denver, find that guy and say,
"How you feeling today?"
Yeah, and not to like rip his face, but to like say, "Look, this has got to be a lesson for us that we really do need to like pause when this stuff is in the air." We're gonna have opinions. We can't like stop having an opinion about the matter, but it would be a good exercise to say this thing needs to develop. We probably should take this stuff very seriously, and not be led away so easily to like brush this stuff aside, because countless lives, there's gonna be loss and calamity. This is not like it's like a weird fringe thing. Like this is a big deal. So I think that's my first thing is that I've learned of like just watching this go down is we've got to really pay close attention to where our thoughts are going and what we're doing with it, and we need to just be a little more patient.
Yeah.
And then number two, my heart's heavy. I went to Ukraine in 2012. I took a group of college students when I was a professor at Sterling, and I loved Ukraine. When I left, I was sad. Like the only thing that was missing was my family being there with me. Like it really felt we were at home. We went to the Poltava region, which is kind of out a little further from Kyiv, but we were in Kyiv, and I've got friends there. I saw the church grow there. I preached in churches in Ukraine, and so my heart goes out to the brothers and sisters in Ukraine that are feel threatened. One of the things that the pastor Sergei told me, he's like, during World War II, so something Ukraine is known for is they are known for their topsoil. According to some farmers, it's probably the richest topsoil maybe in the whole world.
Oh, wow.
During World War II, as Germany was pressing east, when they got to the region of Ukraine, like the story goes, that they were loading the topsoil into train cars to ship it back to Germany. So this group of people, they do feel maligned. That's part of I think it's part of their consciousness. I think they do feel torn between Brussels, where the EU is, and Moscow.
Yep.
There are people from Russia who have friends in Ukraine and vice versa.
Right.
So there's a many-sided thing to this. But what I think of first is those just lovely Christians that I met in Ukraine, and just how vulnerable they all must feel. And it just simply reminds me, like, we should feel a bit of a tension from time to time in geopolitics, particularly international politics. Because as Americans, we have interests, we have fears, we have opportunities. there are probably countries out there that may be evergreen adversaries of ours.
Yeah.
But there's a good chance that in those countries, there are Christians, born-again Christians, like people in the family of God with us, that if in our national self, we think military action against that country is justifiable, there should be a piece of us that feels conflicted because that is putting brothers and sisters in Christ in harm's way. And so I think as we think about what we should do from here as a country, critiquing maybe what the Biden administration has done and has not done, I think we also as believers, and this would be an important time as we come to worship on Sunday, is, just a few time zones ago, Ukrainian and Russian Christians were in worshiping communities, and they obviously have a heavier weight on that Sunday morning than maybe we do. And so we should probably keep that in mind. I think of the Apostle Paul when he says that when one part of the body of Christ rejoices, we all rejoice with it. Yeah. When one part suffers, we all suffer with it. And so I think it'd be good to have a discernment exercise this afternoon and say, do I feel grieved because Christians are grieved in Ukraine, where all this warfare is about ready to go down in escalating fashion. So those are some of the things that have come to my mind. And then just this morning, I was scrolling through Facebook, and Marlene Wall, who's one of our mission partners, one of the Ridgepoint, faithful, president of Lithuania Christian College, a community that's got students from every European country thereabouts, particularly Eastern European countries. And she's got students and maybe even faculty with Ukrainian and Russian roots. And I just imagine her leadership and what it's, this situation's calling upon her to somehow help broker peace between students who maybe come from two different ends of this conflict. And so there's a lot going on here. It should give us pause, and we should think, what the kingdom, if the kingdom drives ultimately our actions and our thoughts, what would we say with the kingdom in mind with something like this? Yeah,
that's really good. I had a couple of things I was just going to share. I was scrolling through just to kind of get some news and whatever, and I found two things that some of my friends on social media posted. I'll just share real quickly. So my friend Kevin, I'll just read this. I'll put it on the screen. He said, "The news is really hard right now, as if it hasn't been for months and years. It's hard to focus. It's hard to work. It's hard to stop doom scrolling," which is kind of a new term. Have you heard that before?
No.
Like whenever there's like big news, a lot of people just turn to social just to keep refreshing to see if they've got any new news. Like that's doom scrolling has become like a real thing.
All right.
But he ends it with this. When that happens, I find it best to focus on small acts of love and kindness. Grace and peace be with you. And I think I think it was Mr. Rogers who made the phrase famous that look for the heroes or look for the helpers. Whenever national tragedy or international tragedy hits, find a nugget of good to hold on to, and maybe use some of these moments to encourage yourself to be a good, kind person in the midst of this world that we find ourselves in. So I was thinking about that. And then another kind of convicting thing a friend of mine posted was, if you're going to post one of these Pray for Ukraine graphics on your social media page, make sure you mean it. If you're going to post that, you better carve out some time to actually pray for Ukraine. Like, don't just post the graphic just to be trendy and social today. If you're going to be talking about praying for Ukraine, we need to actually do it, because this is a time to actually unite in prayer. So.
That's right. And when you talk about Ukraine, it's not the Ukraine. Like, it's not. Right. It's not. And I hate to kind of be a nit about that, but it's Ukraine. They're lovely, great people, long history. I mean, I remember being in a couple of their cities where I think they have manhole covers older than our oldest town. Oldest
crazy.
Cities. This has been a group of people residually in the midst of struggle, and here they are again. And maybe that adds to their resilience in this moment, but it certainly is concerning that these folks can't seem to get out of the woods of conflict in one way or the other. And so this is hopefully we can hold this nation in the love of God, and hopefully something happens here soon that spares so many people from hardship that's out there.
And along with that, like our MB heritage, the Mennonite Brethren faith, a lot of our roots are from that part of the world. Like Ukraine's an important part of the MB background. So we're going to make Verenica and all that pretty soon here at church, and all those foods are like from Ukraine. Like, so that's part of our church's heritage. It comes from that part of the world. So it's hard not to feel kind of heavy and just kind of not sure how to feel on days like today. And who knows what will be happening in the days ahead. So,
yeah. It certainly looks like it could get worse. It doesn't have to. And so let's hold on tight. Let's care for one another, and not bury our head in the sand. So right. I think, unfortunately, with social media, with the internet, there's 1,000 things to be anxious and upset and opinionated about. And I think we should have the license to whisk away a lot of things. But this is not something where, man, I just can't wait to be around people who don't want to talk about it. And actually, I think this is something that we should be talking about because of our commitment to a shared humanity. Yeah. I just think that this is something that our faith would call us to, is not to ignore this, but to engage it, to have patience as we do so, and look with eyes of faith as we do so.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. As we begin to wrap up, we can add one little lighthearted nugget of this story. Okay. I showed you this just a few minutes ago.
Oh, yeah.
Right now, Applebee's is trending, and I can't help. I can't decide if I feel sorry for them or if they're getting the deal of a lifetime in their advertising budget.
Right.
So there's a clip going viral right now. It was a clip from CNN. They're showing, the sirens are going off in Ukraine. They're kind of showing where some of the stuff's going on right now in live. And then they cut to commercial, and it's an Applebee's, like an upbeat Applebee's. I think it's a Luke Bryan or something song. But they kept the CNN branding and this breaking news. But then they've got this Applebee's kind of dance tune, advertising their margaritas or whatever. And a little bit of chicken fried. Cold beer on a Friday night. And so a lot of people are just going nuts with, World War III sponsored by Applebee's. I've just seen a lot of kind of funny responses to that. So, again, I don't know if I feel sorry for Applebee's or a lot of people are watching their commercial right now. So, a little bit of brevity in the midst of the...
Yeah, I feel kind of hungry, y'all.
Yeah, go for some of those $5 chicken wings.
All right, man. Okay.
All right. Well, thanks for watching. And again, we'd love to have you on Sunday. You're preaching this week, so we'd love to have you back on Sunday.
Yeah, we're continuing our John series as we're getting closer and closer to Easter, looking at the last life of Jesus according to the Gospel of John. And so we'll be together talking through just Jesus tells his disciples to abide in him. Even though, there's the world's falling apart all around him, and he doesn't seem the least bit rattled by that all. And he has a peace for us in the midst of all that. And so I'll be talking further about that, kind of dovetailing with what Pastor Brent talked about last week.
Cool.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. All right. We'll have a different episode today. Maybe not quite as much fun as usual, but just an important topic for us to dive into. So,
yeah, absolutely.
Anything else to close out?
Did you do World today?
I did. I got it. Not as good as you.
Man, I lucked out.
You got your second guess, right?
Yeah, so it's my first time I got it too.
I think I was a 4. I think it was a 4 today.
That's okay, man. Yeah, Wordle.
I'll take it. Go play Wordle. Yeah, exactly. all the derivatives. So we should give a shout out to our friend Nate Schroeder. He posted. I think he's got a 100% record so far. He's gotten every single day.
I think someone very fond of you does as well.
Tilly? I'm not sure if she's quite 100.
I thought I saw 31 out of 31.
Maybe she has. Maybe you're paying better attention than I have. I know for sure that Nate does.
To put you on blast here, but I think I just saw that.
Okay, well, there we go. Congrats to Tilly and Nate. We got to wrap it before I say anything else. It's going to get me in trouble. So.
Okay.
Have a great Thursday. Have a good weekend.
We'll see you next time.
See ya.
Yeah.